Hi, I'm James Griffith, and in this presentation, I'll be talking about the movie The Dark Knight. It is a 2008 film directed by Christopher Nolan. And in the film, Batman is trying to stop the Joker from spreading fear and chaos all through Gotham. The Joker here is not motivated by money or power, but as Alfred put it, some people just want to watch the world burn. And that's Joker, and Batman needs to figure out how to stop him. Now, in this presentation, I'll be focusing on the strategies of framing and composition. Now, framing is how characters and objects are placed within an image, and the composition is how those visual elements work together to communicate a meaning. And throughout The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan uses framing and composition to communicate this conflict of chaos versus order visually. Each scene I'll talk about builds toward that final image of Batman standing over an upside down hanging Joker. And that is the central theme that is expressed almost entirely through storytelling. The scene I'll be talking about is the bank robbery scene. And in that scene, the robbers come in wearing identical clown masks. And it makes the audience have trouble identifying which one of them is Joker. And that's exactly what Christopher Nolan is wanting us to see. He's creating this uncertainty and he controls what the audience knows by using framing and composition. By framing the robbers all together and wearing identical masks, we don't know which one Joker is. And the composition of that tells us that by having them look identical shows that we don't know which one he is. That is until the Joker removes his mask. And in that frame, the Joker fills the entire scene, right? The entire shot, I should say. And he becomes the focal point of what Christopher Nolan is trying to say chaos. He's trying to put Joker as the image of chaos by filling the entire frame up with Joker's face. And once the audience understands who Joker is and what he's meant to be, Nolan brings him face to face with Batman. This next scene, I'm going to show a clip. And in the clip, it's going to be the interrogation scene between Batman and Joker. And it comes about halfway through the movie after Batman has finally captured the Joker. And up to this point, the Joker has always seemed to be one step ahead of Batman. And he's created chaos all through Gotham City. Now, as we watch this scene, don't focus so much on what is being said. Instead, focus on what's being shown. See how Joker and Batman are positioned within the frame.
You let 5 people die. Then you let Dent take your place. Even to a guy like me, that's cold.
Where's Dent?
Those mob fools want you gone so they can get back to the way things were. But I know the truth. There's no going back. You've changed things. Forever.
Then why'd you want to kill me?
I don't want to kill you.
In this scene, the audience is focused entirely on Batman and Joker. There are very few distractions at all. And the tight framing makes us focus solely on Batman and Joker and their reactions to what's being said instead of simply watching them fight. There's close-up scenes the close-up shots that dominate the entire scene. Batman and Joker filling the frame, the POV camera shots. It's comparing the two characters to one another. With the composition, Batman appears often in physical dominant control, while Joker is sitting there visually calm despite being at that disadvantage. The characters are isolated from everyone. Christopher Nolan wants to show this battle between chaos and order through the placement of the characters instead of just relying on what they are saying. And then after this confrontation, the Joker is planning to spread his influence all through Gotham City. All he wants to do is create more chaos, and he wants to create physical chaos through Gotham. And the way that Christopher Nolan shows this is with the ferry scene. And in the ferry scene, we have these two ferries, and they're full of people. One's got convicts and one's got ordinary citizens. But the way we see them is they are both presented as equal things. They're both balanced and they're both in the frame. Neither ferry here is favored over the other. They're both have groups of people that face the same moral dilemma. The composition encourages the audience to look at these two groups of people as equal and as the same. And then after that, Christopher Nolan switches to a tighter shot. And in this shot, we have the framing of one man holding the detonator amongst the crowd. That takes this group decision and places it on one individual person, the man holding the detonator. He becomes the focal point. Our attention shifts from everybody to this one individual. The composition emphasizes personal responsibility in the midst of this chaos. By moving from a balanced wide shot to that tightly framed close up, Nolan shifts our attention from a larger conflict to a single moral choice. These framing decisions reinforce one of the film's central ideas that maintaining order depends on the choices of ordinary people rather than groups of people. And although Joker's philosophy was ultimately rejected by the citizens of Gotham, Batman still needs one final confrontation with him. And in this final clip I'm going to show you is near the end of the movie after Batman stopped the Joker's plan and he's captured him. Now, throughout the film, Nolan has been building towards this final confrontation. And in my opinion, it might contain the strongest example of framing and composition of the entire movie. Now, as you watch this scene, pay close attention to where Batman and Joker are positioned with the frame. Watch how Nolan places the characters to communicate the conflict of order and chaos.
I think you and I are destined to do this forever.
You'll be in a better jail forever.
Maybe we could share one. You know, they'll be doubling up the rate this city's inhabitants are losing their minds.
This city just showed you that it's full of people ready to believe in good.
Until their spirit breaks completely. Until they get a good look at the real Harvey Dent. Huh? And all the heroic things he's done. You didn't think I'd risk losing the battle for Gotham's soul in a fistfight with you. Oh, you need an ace in the hole. Mine's Harvey.
What did you do?
I took Gotham's White Knight, and I brought him down to our level. It wasn't hard. See, madness, as you know, is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
In that final shot, the conflict is communicated almost entirely through the way the characters are positioned on the screen. We got Batman, who is upright and standing, and then we have Joker hanging upside down. See, Batman is placed in the frame as looking strong and stable, while Joker being upside down shows him as an unnatural way and visually represents his world view. And the composition that is used here is very simple. No one doesn't rely on a busy background or fast editing. Instead, he allows the audience to focus entirely on this relationship of chaos and order between these two characters. We got Gotham City in the background, and the city is placed below the two characters. It shows that these two characters are fighting over Gotham's future and not just in between each other. And Batman does physically defeat the Joker, but the framing suggests that the conflict might not be completely over. The Joker's smiling, he's still talking, and he still believes that his ideas made an impact. For me, I do think this is the strongest example of framing and composition in The Dark Knight. Nolan takes that central theme of the entire film and communicates it through one unforgettable image: Batman upright, Joker upside down. He creates composition that clearly represents order over chaos. Looking back at each one of these scenes, we can clearly see how Christopher Nolan used framing and composition to reinforce the film's central conflict of chaos versus order. The bank robbery scene introduces chaos by hiding Joker's identity through carefully controlled framing and building the mystery before revealing the Joker as the face of chaos. The interrogation scene uses close ups and character positioning to visually communicate this shifting power between Joker and Batman. The fairy scene gives both fairies equal importance with framing, and then shifts to a uh, close-up frame of the detonator that highlights the importance of one person's decision. Then the final confrontation uses an iconic scene of Batman standing over the Joker as he's upside down to visually summarize this conflict between order and chaos that has been building throughout the entire film. And while The Dark Knight is often remembered for its action and unforgettable performances, I do believe that the use of framing and composition here is one of the biggest reasons why it has remained so influential in our culture. Christopher Nolan doesn't just tell the story through what his characters say. He tells it through what the audience sees. Thank you for watching.